the globe. Spanning the globe. Live from Brooklyn. It's the Global Jam Session with DJ Hard Hittin Harry.
Haitian All-Stars.
Haitian All-Stars.
Live in the mix.
Your number one DJ. Always getting the party started. DJ Hard Hittin Harry.
This is for the people who waiting for the return of the ambassador. I've been in it, killing it steadily, know you're feeling it, but hold your applause. I'm doing this for the future, building on the past. Back on top of the map, stopping us, then I suggest that you ask. Far from the regular rapping, it's something that you kinda gotta get used to. Sorta like Fela Kuti mixed the Public Enemy, and that's 1, 2, 2. I'm the native son, this is just begun. As soon as you hear it, you know it's a classic. BLITZ the Ambassador's one of the masters. Cussing across city, wish the jolly nigga be Mimi and Dawo. Swinging like I Portney or Josh Cloth, and you running for cover. Forever Ghana's own, never ride alone. Got the mighty never seen no song, but we rocking the stage just to have to handle. They never believed the African could bring back the rail. Top 10 on iTunes, did it without a deal. All across the continent, my people got my back. So thank you for giving me all that you got. I'm taking this shit all the way to the top. Dream on young Capone, the Jensen, yeah. None of the men, the Jensen, yeah. Yasan Twig, the Jensen, yeah. The Jensen, yeah. The Jensen, yeah. Patuman Kume, the Jensen, yeah. Kwame Nkrumah, the Jensen, yow. Tete Kwashi, the Jensen, yow. The Jensen, yow. The Jensen, yow. Fuck the world. Fuck the world. Class from the soul. Quick was all the trees. Once again. Once again. Incredible. Class from the soul.
Spanning the globe. Live from Brooklyn.
It's just me, your son. I pray this letter finds you better. Hope you're doing fine. I can't believe the 10 years have gone by since I last packed my bags, got a cab and said bye. only imagine the feeling watching your kids go. Must have been heartbreaking. Where did the years go? But you be proud to know I never stopped repping you. Every track, every show, every last interview. Plus I hated how they obtained your image in the news. All the stereotypical narratives describing you. If they ever met you, I bet you was undisputable. The way you shine, so black, so beautiful. From the depths of the Sahara, travel to Kilimanjaro. Ancient mathematics, they forgot you're the land of the pharaohs. Plus you birthed us all, nobody can deny. Most of the men that said they loved you only robbed you blind. Switch bank accounts, they hiding all your funds. Instead of education, they patiently give the children guns. So while I write you this letter, I need some clarity. People think that Africa's synonymous to charity. All the while I wonder how you keep a smile on your face. Sun is still shining, reminding me of your warm embrace. To say hello to my fam, promise it won't be long. Signing off, sincerely yours, it's the native son.
Ton souvenir me hante chaque nuit, chaque jour. Oh, j'aimerais avoir des ailes pour retrouver Maman Africa. Africa, je t'appelle Maman Africa. Africa, quand je suis près de toi, de ton âme, de tes belles. Oh, j'aimerais avoir des ailes pour retrouver Maman Africa. Africa, je t'appelle Maman Africa.
Turns off the seatbelt sign. Thank you for choosing Ambassador Airlines and enjoy your stay.
Yes, y'all. What's the deal? It's the Global Jam Session. DJ Hard Hittin Harry live and direct. Thank you so much for tuning in on this very special edition of the Global Jam Session, afternoon edition, y'all. And I'm really excited today. Today, we have live in the studio my brother from Africa. Blitz the Ambassador is in the building, y'all. Yeah. Gotta give you the applause, man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here, man. Heard a lot about this show, being a listener, so it's a privilege to be here.
You know what, man? The circle is really tight. You know, we both live in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So I already already knew about your project through your previous management. My brother that worked at Bad Boy, Quasi. Salute to Quasi, man.
Yes, Quasi, man. Quasi pushed a lot, man, to get me where I'm at right now. So salute to Quasi, man, for being a strong man and for hustling his way through it all, man, when people didn't want to give us a chance. So big up to Quasi.
No doubt. Salute to Quasi, man, because he was one of the first people that introduced me to you as an artist. And also salute to Danny Castro of Lyricist Lounge, because I think the first time I ever saw you was at Tribeca. Tribeca was 92Y Tribeca. And that was an amazing show. That's when I had first caught wind of you as a live performer. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. And then we started seeing each other a lot. You know, we started running in the same circles. And then the first album that you had, the initial album that you were pushing at the time, was the Stereotype Project.
Yep. Stereotype was the album that when I moved to Brooklyn kind of permanently, I started working on this album. And it took a while to put together. It took actually 3 years to put together. And as soon as it was done, I mean, the rest of it was pretty much, you know, trying to make sure this image was seen everywhere. So prior to even the record coming out, man, we were like, you know, roaming the streets of New York, man, with Weak Pace and like bundles of posters, man. And most people still today don't have an idea that this is my album cover. They've seen this image on the trains, you know what I mean, in the streets, everywhere. So, I mean, for me, it you know, is two ways to this. It's like the work ethic of, you know, self-promotion, you know what I mean, that most people don't really put a lot of focus on, and then it's the making of the music, you know. And one thing I have to salute my team, Quasi included, and everybody, was like, we always knew that we were going up against the machine. So, you know, you cannot be not seen, you know what I'm saying? You had to go fully if you were gonna be seen. So that's one thing that, you know, we really grinded on. And Stereotype is the record that I was pushing all through 2009. And
for those that are just now seeing you that may not know who you are, I mean, I posted the new Best I Can video featuring Cornet, and I started getting mad feedback. Like, it's like people have never seen it before, you know what I mean? So for those that may not know who you are, where are you from?
Okay, well, I'm born and raised in Accra, Ghana. I was born there. I lived there till, you know, throughout my teenage years. You know, I moved to the States, you know, under the pretext of going to college, which I did, you know. But hip-hop music was something that I had been pursuing back home, and I knew that if there was anywhere that I could do this, it was in New York City, and more importantly, it was in Brooklyn. So, you know, that's how I ended up here.
Now, take me back to Accra, Ghana, as an early hip-hop head. Tell me what hip-hop meant to you and what pretty much gave you the influence for what you're doing today. Describe that kid back in Accra, Ghana.
Well, oh man, you know, the crazy thing is when I first got into the culture, it was purely as a casual fan and listener. You know what I'm saying? I had no dreams whatsoever of being a performer, being a contributor to the culture. You know what I mean? It was just I loved the sound. I had never heard anything like it before. I had never seen anything like it before. And, you know, it was something that was powerful and at the same time informative. You know what I'm saying? And as a young kid, I used to draw a lot. That was like really all I did as a kid. And I needed something to kind of keep me going as a visual artist, just, you know, staying up all night, drawing, painting, and hip-hop music became that thing. So, you know, while I was drawing, I'll have, you know, the Wu-Tang on one side and Boot Camp Click on the other side, and just like literally rotating all night. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I actually ended up learning to speak English, or the American slang, because I spoke English at the time, but not the American slang. So I started understanding a lot more of what was being said. And another thing about that time was just overall, the culture in Ghana is typical to most African cultures and even most global cultures, where the voice of the youth often isn't isn't given the precedent and not given the importance that it deserves. And so this was a time where hip-hop music somehow had found a means for young people in America to have that assertive voice, So for a lot of us, obviously at the time it was an unconscious decision, but it was something that resonated in us that, wow, man, these guys over here have figured out how to speak for themselves. And, maybe if we learned how to speak through that language they're using, maybe we'll be able to speak for ourselves and be heard. And that really changed Ghanaian culture as well.
And so Ghanaian radio, do you get all of that? I mean, for those that, may have never been to Africa, do you get the Wu-Tang? Do you get the Mobb Deep? Do you get the, KRS-One? Do you get the Chuck D of Public Enemy? And,
Yo, there was definitely a radio station called Groove FM that I have to shout out, because Groove was basically the station that put a lot of hip-hop heads, at least my peers, that's what put a lot of people onto hip-hop, you know what I mean? And Groove had a DJ called Woodman and Bushke, and these guys, and actually my girl Miss Na, who used to go by Triple Soul Sister, she Triple S, Super Soul Sister, that was her. And yo, I mean, Friday nights, that was like the only time that you could get it, but it would be like at 2 a.m. And I went to boarding school, so and I don't want people to get boarding school misconstrued here. Boarding school in Africa is like real. It's boot camp-ish. Here it's for rich Catholic kids,
Rigid, it's straight rigid.
Oh, man, it's extra rigid, you know what I mean? That's like, but the good thing about it was you socialized with a lot of different people from different walks of life and different classes. And so that really put hip-hop heads became like a cult on the school campus. And Friday nights, everybody with their little portable radio, because those were illegal, in a boarding school, who hide under our mosquito nets and just like listen to, everything from, De La to Tribe. And the beautiful thing about that time too was the DJs, they weren't getting serviced singles like here. So they really just played whatever they liked on the record. So up to, like there's some songs that nobody will know here because, if you didn't buy the album, you don't know those songs because it wasn't a single. But they played those in Ghana like it was the single, So there's so much that we got put onto, man. But at the same time, there was so much that we did not get put onto. So as I'm, getting deeper and deeper into the culture, even when I moved here, it was more of like a study and a research.
And when did you move here?
I moved here in 2000. Yep.
And describe, you moved here and then you went to college. Okay, so describe your college years and, what did you do while you were here, going to college, pursuing your hip-hop career? When did you say, okay, this is what I want to do?
Well, I went to Kent State, Ohio, man. So, if you've been to the Midwest, you already know what it is. It was hellish, but it was a good education for me, about quote unquote the real America. You know what I mean? Because, when you're in New York and my family was here, I had family here, so I was always here. If you're in New York, you're used to like all these cultures mixing, similar to most other big cities around the world, Like Accra is one of those that people from everywhere there. So you don't really recognize that there are a lot of close-minded people around the world that just have what they know and stick to what they know. So, for me, those 4.5 years were the most important for me. Not only because going to college exposed me to a lot, but also I got put onto one of the best Pan-African departments in the country, on that campus, which was rare because in a place like Ohio, you don't expect to find that. But, you know, that department was probably, you know, it was one of the first in the country as well. So it was really significant that, you know, they had an amazing program there, and I just stayed in that space. You know, I ended up with a marketing degree, but literally I took classes, extra classes, just to be in that space and to be in that building. So, you know, that was another really important thing that helped me develop my ideology around which the artist I am today is born, you know, because you know, at that time when I moved here, the concept of the diaspora wasn't that important to me, you know. But when I moved there and I started really dissecting and realizing that, man, Africans on the continent of Africa, Africans in the Caribbean, Africans, you know, in America, you know what I'm saying? It's basically the same thread, you know what I mean? That really was what put me on to the music that I made, and eventually has birthed Native Son, the record.
That's what's up, man. You know, it's evident in your writing, you know, in your lyrics. You know, you shout out a lot of key African leaders, recording artists, Miriam Makeba, Patrice Lumumba, you know, Nkrumah, you know what I mean? And that's refreshing to hear, you know, because, you know, my daughter, she's 10 years old. Salute to Mali Dada. You know, she had she got a birthday coming up, man. She got to give her on-camera shout-out real quick.
What up, Molly? Shout-outs to you. Happy birthday. Saturday? Wow. No doubt. She's going to be there? Oh, man. She gets a special dedication from BLITZ the Ambassador and the Mighty Embassy Ensemble, man. Can't wait to see you, Molly.
Well, I say this because Molly is 10 years old, my daughter, and, you know, she's a sponge, you know. She absolutely loves anything that I love, and vice versa. You know, we sponge off of each other, I should say. So I guess respect is due, you know. There's a lot of things that she likes that I like. I tend to like because she, you know, she listens to it. But she loves your music, and she's educated now because of the names that you're dropping, and, you know, and a lot of things that you're saying in the Native Son album. Just in case you're just now joining us, y'all, this is the Global Jam Session. DJ Hard Hittin Harry. I'm live with my man BLITZ the Ambassador from Ghana, Africa. You know what I mean? Also, fellow Brooklyn resident. You know what I'm saying? We're making it happen today on the Global Jam Session. This is the live special edition. Don't worry, y'all. I'm gonna be on tonight at 6 o'clock for the Global Jam Session, live from Brooklyn edition with Freddie Fox. You know, salute to Bumpy Knuckles and the entire Corrupt Mob Radio family. So don't worry, 6 o'clock. I will be on with the regular show, but had to do this special edition for my man BLITZ the Ambassador as we prepare for the Brooklyn Museum this weekend. You know what I'm saying? So it's going down this weekend. Brooklyn Museum, man. You know, let's plug that real quick, man. Salute to Brooklyn.
Of course, man. You know, Brooklyn is my adopted home, man. So, you know, being in Brooklyn and having the privilege of rocking at the museum is something huge for me. I mean, First Saturdays is something that I've frequented. So, you know, being a musical guest there is huge for me because, you know, I love Brooklyn and I love everything Brooklyn represents. So June 4th, 5 p.m., I'll be there with the Mighty Embassy Ensemble, you know, which is, if you haven't seen them, you have to. It's just worth seeing cats, young cats, play instruments and play it with conviction. You know what I mean? You know, and I'm really blessed to have that kind of band, man. That's like so hip hop, but so jazz and so Afro beat and so soukous and so, you know, blues and so everything. You know what I mean? So I'm blessed to have that, and so you definitely need to see us, BLITZ the Ambassador, the Mighty Embassy Ensemble, Saturday, June 4th, at the Brooklyn Museum.
No doubt, man. Don't forget, once again, that's this Saturday. We got to plug that real quick. This Saturday, the Brooklyn Museum presents BLITZ the Ambassador. It's going to be really nutso, all right? And this is going down at the Brooklyn Museum. Target first Saturdays, man. You know, you got to be there. BLITZ the Ambassador is going to be, it's going to be really live, y'all. What is going on over here?